Development is often a pressing issue on political agendas. It is common to hear arguments about how development reduces or accelerates migration, but this approach is one-sided. In reality, development and migration are continuously shaping each other. In this video, we will examine how migration influences development, and in a later video, we'll dive into the ways development affects migration trends. So make sure to check out that video too to get the full picture. This video will give an introductory look at migration effects on development primarily at the country and regional levels. For more detailed information about migration's effects on individual and communities, be sure to watch my explainer video about migration effects in the origin and destination countries. While it is reasonable to expect all forms of migration to impact development, we will primarily discuss people who voluntarily move rather than those forced to migrate in the interest of protecting their own security. That is to say, we will focus on the effects of migration instances that are motivated mainly by work, study, or joining family members. Of course, there are a number of reasons why people migrate, which we will not discuss here for the moment. Check out my other video on why people migrate for more on this topic. Economic motives for migration are widely referred to and studied as a migration motivator, especially in the context of development. In many cases, migration scholars like Douglas Massey discuss development through an economic lens by defining it as an application of human capital to raise human productivity, generate wealth, and increase national income. However, development is multifaceted. Development in general can be described as a process of improving overall quality of life of any given group of people. That means that while development is often looked at via an economic lens, in reality it is multidimensional, encompassing not only income or wealth, but also health, education, and more. Some, like Nobel Prize winner Amartya Sen, have discussed development as an expansion of individuals' capabilities and rights. Now, this discussion of migration effects on development requires us to understand the mechanisms or ways in which migration causes effects on development. Knowledge transfer, for example, is a key way that migration can spread ideas related to development to different locations. Two financial mechanisms, remittance sending and investment, create effects in migrant origins. Another way migration can affect development is through the absence of a person in the household or country. The absence of a person in the household might give more space or freedom to other members of the household and might free up employment for others. On the other hand, it could put additional pressure on household members who stay behind because there are fewer people to help out. Active diaspora engagement can help to facilitate the positive mechanisms that help to spur development. Now let's take these mechanisms and apply them to a historical case and then a contemporary situation to see how they generate effects on development. A key point in European history from the late 17th to the early 1800s was industrialization. During this time, it is theorized that migration helped spread industrialization internationally because immigrants from industrialized places utilized the knowledge transfer mechanisms to help accelerate industry in their destinations. These out-migration trends were particularly from rural areas because industrialization initially increased demand for unskilled factory workers in urban areas. This newfound abundance of laborers in rural areas actually drove rural wages up. Plus, the arrival of new unskilled job opportunities in cities can be associated with increased national productivity and development. Just from this example, we can see how migration affects development in both origin and destination countries. What we see is that migration and development go hand in hand. Let's now look at different macro monetary flows that can affect development. First, let's look at remittances, which is the money sent back to countries of origin by migrants abroad. Next, we have foreign direct investment, which is direct investment made by non-resident investors, essentially investments in an origin country made by foreigners. Another important international flow of money is Official Development Assistance, or ODA for short. ODA is defined by the OECD Development Assistance Committee, or DAC, as the government aid that promotes and specifically targets the economic development and welfare of developing countries. Remittances, FDI, and ODA are commonly compared with regard to amounts and who benefits, since they all theoretically could impact development. Let's look at data from the World Bank comparing total remittances, FDI, and ODA inflows for 2019 by world region and national income level. We can immediately see that countries in the Middle East and North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, and South Asia receive more money through remittances than foreign direct investment. ODA, while substantially present in Africa and the Middle East, does not overwhelmingly outweigh remittances and FDI among the global regions. ODA is dwarfed by FDI and remittances in absolute terms. Let's now zoom in on remittances, since they are more directly related to migration than FDI, even though migration can affect FDI positively also. Migration is sometimes identified as a causal factor initiating FDI, but many investment instances also occur regardless of migration. Now, remittances make up a dominant source of cash inflow in global regions like South Asia, Europe, and Central Asia. If we rearrange our categories by national income level rather than geographic region, however, we see that lower middle income countries as a group have more remittance inflows than FDI or ODA. Migration appears to spur more cash flows via remittances to countries, specifically those with lower middle income levels, and that outweighs official development assistance and foreign direct investment. Additionally, we've seen that less directly tangible aspects of migration like knowledge transfer have historically helped development spread internationally. This makes sense considering modern-day effects of migrant transfers we've already discussed on this channel. Thank you for coming along on this brief insight into migration's effects on development. For more on the effects of migration, be sure to check out those explainer videos as well. Finally, keep an eye out for the next explainer video where I'll explain the ways development can shape migration trends. Don't forget to like and comment on this video before sharing around. I hope you'll also subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell to never miss an update. I'll see you next time.